Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Mrs. Eaton.
Thank you. Class, class, class.
Yes, yes.
Eyes on me.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, today we're going to be learning about how to tell time. And why do we think it's important to learn about telling time? Colton?
Because it's special because there's a secret thing. So the big hand actually is the middle hand, and the little hand actually tells what time it is.
Okay, very good. But why is it important to know how to tell time? Abel?
It's because what time it is that when you have to go somewhere, and that's the time you have to go to.
Exactly, yes, that's a very good answer because we need to know what time we have to be at places, right? Like what time do we have to be at school and what time to, okay, for this lesson, okay, we're using the champs today, okay?
Okay.
So that means that our conversation level is going to be at 0 or 1 if we're sharing with our math partner, okay?
Or 2.
My expectations for you are to sit quietly, crisscross applesauce, raise your hand, and wait to be called upon if you need to answer a question, okay? Great, everybody's on board. All right, so who can tell me what the objective for today is? Given your worksheets at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to tell time in the half hour and the hour using analog and digital clocks, okay? Who can tell me what this is? Anybody? Abel?
A clock.
A clock, very good. Colton?
What does KLE spell? It broke.
Okay, shh. Remember, Colton, please raise your hand and only speak out, or only speak when called upon, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. This is also called an analog clock. Okay? Now we have different types of clocks. This is the analog clock, and then we also have a digital clock. A digital clock like here on my watch. It reads the time like a computer, so you just read it like the numbers are.
Like 1, 2, 3s.
Yes, very good, but remember to raise your hand and wait to be called upon, okay? All right, thank you very much, boys and girls. So the digital clock reads like a computer and it changes automatically. Okay? Okay, so it was important to learn how to tell time because we know when we have to be at school, appointments, anything. What other reasons want to know how to tell time? Colton?
What does it mean?
Why is it important to learn how to tell time? So what are some of the other things we need to learn how to tell time for, other than?
So you can get to places at the right time.
Yep, so you can get to places. Abel?
Well, when you have to go somewhere, and when you go somewhere that you need to be, like an appointment, and at 2:30, and when it's 2:30 you can go there.
Very good, yes. And what about something like bedtime? We need to know what time to go to bed and what time to wake up in the morning. So it's very important for us to be able to know how to tell time. Okay, just a minute. You can ask your questions at the end, okay? Let's go through the lesson first, okay? Now I'm going to play you a little video.
Go tip top around the clock.
clock, you have two different hands, okay? The longer hand is the minute hand, and the shorter hand is the hour hand. Can you share with your mat partners share what you're going to share with each other, okay? What is the longer hand? Turn to your partner and tell them.
The longer is the minute hand.
Okay, now share with your mat partner, what is the shorter hand?
What is the shorter hand? A shorter hand is the what is it?
It's the hour hand.
It's the hour.
Okay. The clock looks like this. You can go ahead and practice drawing it on your whiteboards. Starts with 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then we're going to fill in the spots by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. All right, now, when anything is with the bigger hand, the longer minute hand, pointing to 12, it is called o'clock. Okay? And the shorter hand is going to read the hour. All right, now based on what I just said, who can tell me what time on the analog clock that this would be? I'm going to randomly call on students who are displaying good behavior. Very good. All right, Colton, can you tell me what time this is?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Very good. Now on the digital clock, we tell time by writing the number, two dots, and then the two other numbers. All right. Abel, could you tell me what time that is on the digital clock?
4 o'clock.
Very good. Excellent. Now, when the little hand moves all the way around to the bottom of the clock, this is called half past the hour. Or we would say, in other words, this is 3:30. Now to write that on the digital clock, go ahead on your whiteboards and practice writing it for me in digital form, okay? Digital is like this, right here, okay? We're gonna write the number.
I already did that.
Okay, can we try doing it again, please? We're gonna write 3:30 in digital, okay? And then show me what 3:30 looks like and digital clock. Did you write 3:30, Colton?
I thought you could write whatever you want.
No, I asked you to write 3:30 for me, please, okay? Continue on. Show me what 3:30 on the digital clock would look like. 0 means 3:30. Okay, we're going to do mirrors and words, okay? Mirrors and words means when I say something, you're going to mirror back to me what I've said, okay? All right, so when the minute hand is on the 6 and the hour hand is half past the hour, then it's half past the hour. So when the minute hand is on the 6 and the hour hand is on the 6 and the minute hand is half past the hour, then it's half past the hour. Can you say that back? When the little hand, come on, say it back with me. When the little hand is on the 6 and the big hand is half past the hour, it is half past the hour.
You already said that 2 times.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure that the class understands it. Okay, and remember that we don't speak out. We raise our hand and wait to be called upon, okay? All right. All right. Now, can you guys tell me how analog clocks and digital clocks are alike? How are they similar? Colton?
Similar.
How are the clocks alike? How are the analog clocks like this and the digital clock like this? How are they alike?
What does alike mean?
Similar.
Because they both have numbers.
They both have numbers. Excellent. All right. Abel, can you tell how they're alike? Analog and digital clocks?
I don't remember.
Okay. They both tell time, right? All right. So they both tell us time. They both have numbers. And how are they different? Abel, how are they different? Analog and digital clocks.
Because it tells you what time and what hour it is.
That's how they're alike, yes, but how are they different?
Because there's big and there's small clocks at the same time.
Okay, yeah. Colton?
Either your watch is a square, that one, and the other one is a circle.
All right, yeah. So most of the time, analog clocks are round, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time. And digital clocks have,
Square.
yeah, sometimes they're square. And analog clocks have, what are these things called?
I don't know.
These are called the hands.
Oh.
Hands. Analog clocks have hands. And the motion that they go around the clock is called clockwise. What is this called?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Very good. Can we think about how the clocks are, any more ways that the clocks are different? Abel?
Because some of them can be round and some of them can be a shape of an oval.
Yeah, absolutely. Colton?
Because they can be different colors.
Yeah, clocks come in all different colors, shapes, and sizes, right? Some are really big, some are really small, some we wear wear on our wrist to tell us the time. Some we keep in our pockets. And
wow, that's a lot of time.
our cell phones now even tell us time all day long while we're carrying them in our pockets. Yes, Colton?
Even your phones can tell time.
Yes, very good. Abel, can you please sit up at crisscross applesauce for me, please? I know it's not quite like school setting, but. All right, now we're reading this book, okay? IQ, it's time. At 8 o'clock, the bell rang. IQ realized he was late for school. He was the class pet, but he really wanted to be a student. What type of clock is this called? Remember, raise your hands. Abel, could you please put down your whiteboards and markers now and follow the story? Let's put them over here, okay? We'll just put them on top of each other. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Now who can tell me what kind of clock this is? Colton?
8 o'clock.
Yes, it is 8 o'clock. Very good. What type of clock is it? Is it analog or is it digital? Abel?
Digital.
Very good. While Mrs. Ferber, the teacher, took attendance, IQ quickly got ready. He finished just in time for the flag salute. At 8:15, Mrs. Ferber said, "Class today is going to be a busy day. Tonight is parents' night. We're having to do our work and prepare the classroom. First, we are going to practice telling time."
This just looks, that just looks like that clock.
Yes, it does. And remember that my expectations for you were to sit crisscross applesauce and to wait to be called upon, okay? That's a very good observation, though, okay? This gave IQ an idea. He would like to make a surprise for parents' nights. And just like Colton pointed out, this is what type of a clock? Colton?
It looks the same as that one.
But what do we call it?
We call it
The analog clock.
analog clock.
And what are these? Thank you, Abel. What are these called that tells us the time? Colton?
Numbers.
Yep, the numbers, but what are the things that move around the clock called?
Hands.
Hands, very good. Mrs. Ferber showed the children the teaching clock. The big hand is on the clock, tells the minutes, and the small hand tells the hours. But IQ wasn't listening. He was looking for paper to make the surprise. By the time IQ had found some paper, it was 9 o'clock, and Mrs. Ferber needed his help for the science lesson. It takes the Earth 24 hours to spin around once, he said. This is what we call a day. It helped IQ helped show how the Earth spins. Then he showed how the moon spins around the Earth. By the end of the lesson, IQ's head was spinning too. Colton, can you please sit next to Abel so that he can see the book as well? Thank you. If you need to move a little closer, you guys can move a little closer, okay?
You kind of need to lean back.
Okay. He got some scissors to cut his piece of paper into a circle for his project. He decided a paper plate would be better, but before he could find one, it was 10 o'clock, time for recess. Mrs. Ferber passed out jump ropes. IQ's was too big. Stephanie gave him one that was more his size. All right, who can tell me what time this says on the digital clock? Abel?
Take a look.
10:30. Okay, because if it was 10 o'clock, it would say 10, 2 dots, and 0, 0. Okay, at 10:30, 6:30, Mrs. Ferber said, we are going to make name cards. Please sit up, crisscross applesauce. So tonight your parents will know where you sit. IQ wanted to make sure the parents knew where he sat too. What time is this? Share with your map partner what time this says. Okay. What time does it say? Together. Everybody. 1, 2, 3. What time does this clock say?
I don't know.
11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock, said Mrs. Ferber. Time for math. We're going to count by fives. The class counted together. Each number on the clock stands for 5 minutes, said Mrs. Ferber. Can you match up the minutes with the number? This reminded IQ that he still needed to finish his surprise for Parents' Night. He began writing numbers on the little round stickers. IQ was only on number 5 when the bell rang, telling everyone it was
Recess. Science.
shh, remember. Okay, what time does this say? Colton?
12:00 o'clock.
12 o'clock, yep, very good. 12 noon, we also call that. Lunch, thought IQ. He stood in line in the cafeteria and Mrs. Cook gave him a bowl of macaroni and cheese, IQ's favorite. He was careful to save a paper plate for his project. When he was done eating, IQ joined in a game of dodgeball. He had to dodge balls and feet. Mrs. Fields, the yard monitor, blew her whistle just in time. Back in the classroom, Mrs. Ferber asked, what time is it? He looked at the clock on the wall. The big hand was on the 12, and the small hand was on the 1. What time would that be? Abel?
I'll look the clock.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. He had 6 more hours to finish his surprise, but he couldn't work on it now. It was his favorite time of day. Crisscross applesauce, boys, please, and girls. IQ was the first one to the reading rug. At, what time was this? Colton?
Well, if I say crisscross, right here gets sweaty.
What time does it say?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, very good. At 2 o'clock, IQ still couldn't work on his surprise. Everyone had to go outside for PE. Mrs. Jugger, the PE teacher, said, everyone line up. We're going to run races. IQ borrowed the stopwatch. He timed the runners to see who was the fastest. He discovered that there were 60 minutes in 1 hour and 60 seconds in 1 minute. He also discovered that it took him 3 seconds